Hello, my name is Marcia Wilson. I look like hell because I have cancer and it ravages the face and makes the hair fall out. Anyway, I'm 80 years old and I'm here to show you how to paint the weenie way, like me. Okay? First you find a canvas in the garbage. That's this one. It's from Trash Day. My daughter found it and she hates it. So you first put it on your easel, and the idea is to cover it all up. So you take your paints. See this little box? This is a plastic box I bought on the internet. And there's my paints, see? And then this is turpentine. See the turpentine? It's in a Vaseline jar because it's so cool. You can open it with one hand, and the lid doesn't fly off because it's connected. And inside is a mixture of turpentine and linseed oil. Now you're supposed to do it like a lot of turpentine, a little linseed oil, but I make up my own recipe which varies from time to time. And then you have to reach a brush. I'm in a hospital bed here. Of course I'm sick, like I said, with leukemia. Grab a brush. This is from Jerry's Artorama. They're called plein air brushes. They got the long handles because you're supposed to be working outside. Only I'm not working outside. I'm working in my hospital bed. Like, you know, remember Matisse? Okay. Then you stick the brush in the turpentine. See? So it just gets moistened. And then you close this. You don't want it leaking. Then you open your box of paints. And you put the brush in whatever's soft. Here we have a little orange. And then you start to scribble it on the thing. The idea is you want to get rid of whatever image is there. I should have a fatter brush, but I don't have one. What can you do? Okay. I'm going to go back and forth with these paints, so let's stop for a minute. Okay, so here we go, folks. As you can see, I put a lot of orange on this thing, this image, and it doesn't matter what color I use because I say so. The idea is to just keep working, cover up this canvas with different colors. Canvases from the garbage are the best. Just the best. Okay, I'm going to take another pause now because unless you want to see me dip into the colors again, first I have to go to the turpentine. Open it up again. Oh, God. Okay, come on. Open it up. Put it on the windowsill. It's a little handicapping to paint from a hospital bed, folks. But it's better than trying to paint when you're 6 feet underground. Although in my case, I'll be 12 feet underground because the boyfriend is buying a double plot for me. And the first person has to go down 12 feet. Can you believe it? That's going to be me. So, I don't know how to entertain you. That's my daughter in the kitchen. She's eating noodle soup. She offered to share with me, but I said no. You know why? Because I don't feel like noodle soup. Is that ramen noodle soup, right? Yeah, it must be. God, these gorgeous paints. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. This is a magenta by Williamsburg. I bought Williamsburg paints because I'm dying, and you should always have what you like before you die, right? I wonder if they're really better than other paints. I liked their King's Blue. That's this light blue right here. I loved that. Then I bought the pink. See that electric looking pink? That's Williamsburg. So I have 3 Williamsburg colors on my palette. The rest are mostly Shinhan, the Korean company. That's all right. See how the painting's getting covered up? You just keep going at it until it's all covered up. Back to these turpentine. So I don't know what to tell you to keep you guys interested in my banter. I'll tell you about myself, I guess. Okay, like I said, my name is Marcia. I was born in 1937. That's the end of the Great Depression. I was born in Rochester, New York, to one lady, my mother, Catherine Hubler, and my dad, Big Earl. Now, in 1937, my parents already had one child, my sister Audrey. And then I came along. And let me tell you something. I may not be cute now, but when I was little, I was very cute. I had brown eyes and a round face. I looked like my dad. My mother wanted a boy. I'm sure she was crushed that I was a girl. And the reason I know she wanted a boy is because when I was little, she has a photograph of herself with an acquaintance or a friend, and she's holding the friend's little boy, and the poor friend is stuck with me with a puzzled expression. And another reason I know is because when I was 3 years old, my mother had my hair cut like a little boy's. I did not like that, but my mother liked it, and because I was a cute kid, I ended up looking adorable anyway, which was a miracle. And just in general, I know my mother wanted a boy. I don't know why. Oh, another time she had a miscarriage after me. A few years after me, when I was about 5. And she had me and my sister and my mother all prayed that she wouldn't have a miscarriage. And we had to pray for a boy. So that's how I know. Little tips like that.
Oh, my goodness.
What are you talking about me?
Well, that sounds pretty grim.
You're talking about me and my mother? Yes. Yeah, my mother definitely wanted a boy. But I was a girl, and I was a girly girl. I mean, I just loved being a girl. I never, ever wanted to be a boy. But that's the way it goes, folks. You know?
Like dolls?
I loved my dolls. My whole world was my dolls, because my mother was kind of... she was affectionate with animals. And my mother was affectionate with... the mentally ill and old people. But for her own kids, she wasn't too affectionate. Count that? So my dolls became my world. Did I love dolls? Yes, I did. And when I was little, my father was not home. He had another life. I guess you'd call it a secret life. He moved us from Rochester, New York when I was 2 years old. He moved us to Leonia, New Jersey, and himself to New York City, but he didn't tell my mother. He just told her he worked late. He took out an apartment in his name like Earl Cranston. That was his middle name. Earl Cranston Sandmeyer was his name. So Earl Cranston had an apartment in New York City. And my mother just thought he was working. See how we're covering up the picture? Different colors of paint. We're not thinking about it, folks. We're just doing it. You know what painting is? It's making marks. I read that someplace. It was from some primitive person said that. It's true. It is making marks. Anyway, so we moved to Leonia. And thank God we stayed in this town for the rest of my growing up life. And if any place, if a town is going to raise you, it better be Leonia, New Jersey. What better place than that? How I loved it. I was with the same friends from kindergarten through 12th grade. My friend Bevy, my friend Joni. There was Rita Lou Rogo and Paula Crititz. All lived near us when I lived on Vreeland Avenue. My father always rented. He never wanted to buy because he always knew he was going to leave my mother as soon as he got the chance. finally he moved us to the apartments. The Manor Apartments, they're called now. But again, they were nice. Everything in Leonia was nice. And in Leonia, everybody's middle class. I don't care who you are. You can be upper middle class, lower middle class, but you're middle class. That's just the definition of it. Leonia is a suburb outside of New York City. And it's very nice. So I moved back here, and my kids grew up here, and now my grandchildren live here. We all love it. And well said, it's very expensive, but you get your money's worth. Couldn't be nicer. What nice friends my kids have. And my son was smart enough to marry a Chinese woman, so three of my grandsons are half Asian. And since Leonia has gotten a lot Asian, they fit right in. It's terrific. How smart we are. Anyway, I always wanted to be an artist. But it wasn't easy because I grew up during World War II and then the 50s, and to be an artist was just kind of a shocking thing for at least for a girl. So my goal was to marry an artist. I thought that would be so cool to marry a Leonia artist. Of course, I didn't realize I'd end up being the Leonia artist. Took me 3 husbands to get somebody to buy me a house in Leonia. Husband number 3, I hit pay dirt with Fred Wilson. Wonderful man. Didn't work out too well because we ended up getting divorced after 19 to 21 years, depending on how you count. Whether you count about how often we lived together or how long it took us to actually divorce. But a generous, kind, honest man he was. And by him I had 2 kids, my 2 wonderful children. Then the 2 youngest, and the oldest is by my first husband, Richard Sloat, who was a nice man too, but a briefer marriage. All right, so this is the way we've done it. We've just started to cover up the canvas. And we keep doing marks. We keep making marks until something starts to present itself, if you want to. But since I'm dying, I can do whatever I damn please. Did I tell you that? When you're dying, you can do what you want. And if you're smart, you'll do that your whole damn life. You won't wait till you're dying. So, I just paint. I may make something realistic, or I may just make marks. See that painting in the corner over there? Let me see if I can get it close. I made this one when I first started. Not when I first started, but in the middle of my leukemia. It's just marks. Again, it's on top of a canvas that was a black blob over a brown. And I just made wiggly lines in blue, and then I just, that's all I did. I think I'll call it my granny's flower garden. This one is way too, too far away for that. Huh. So I'm glad I'm painting again. You know why? Because I'm having transfusions. I got out of hospice. I was, my leukemia is called AML. I call that almost lost. And AML is something for which there's no cure. It means something's all screwed up in your blood. And you're dying. And the oxygen will get starved out. I'll probably die of not getting my breath in the end. But since I gave up hospice because my son Tom had a friend named Lucas, the doctor, and Lucas called him up and said, your mother should be getting transfusions. It would extend her life. So Tom called me and told me that. He said, Mom, Lucas is going to come to Leonia for one purpose, to stick his foot up your ass. And he's not going to take it out till you agree to have transfusions. So, okay, so I dropped hospice, and I went to a private hematologist that I'd had before, and she agreed that I could have transfusions. Why not? Make yourself comfortable. I'm 80 years old. I can have what I want. So since I had the transfusions, I feel a little better. And I can paint now. Before that, I was in a clinical study at NYU where they were trying to test some so-called cure for AML. And to have AML, you have to have, I think, at least 20% blasts in your blood. Blasts are very bad things. They're some kind of white blood cells, immature white blood cells that hog all the space in the blood and leave no room for oxygen and other good things. So I think I was up to like 50% blasts. And anyway, they fiddled around with this stupid medicine that did not make me well. It made me sick, and finally they agreed it's not working. So they dropped me from the study, and I went to Englewood Hospital and told them I just want to die. So they put me in hospice. But then, as I said, Lucas said I should have transfusions, so I decided to postpone my death. And now I'm home in a hospital bed that hospice is going to pick up at the earliest opportunity. And look how cute this is. This is the beginning of another canvas. See how we covered up whatever was on in the beginning? So that's why I recommend you painting over canvases you find on the street. But it's important. I think you can put oil over acrylic, but you can't put acrylic over oil. Okay, so now I've blotted this. This is the painting, and I push it upside down on another painting. So that's what I do. It's hard when you're in a hospital bed, let me tell you. Hang on, folks. Hi-ya! I used to be able to yell better than that. Okay. Looks like that's it, folks.